My Hero Academia, Season 8, Episode 10. Oh, this reunion. And this arc as a whole, man.
Given how much you contributed to the battles, you're being released.
Yes! I mean, that's only right. It's only fair.
And you were exquisite, La Brava!
You both were amazing, and it's been such a journey, such an arc. I also love the fact that he's probably going to become the #1 YapTuber, or like a top YapTuber. His original goal, or part of his goal, just as a consequence of this other much greater stuff. You love to see it for Gentle Criminal. The first villain that we saved, right? He played a much bigger role than probably he even realizes, right? I also like he's released with seemingly no paperwork, just a handshake.
I'm afraid of the outside.
Speaking of villains we
What if
saved.
somebody ends up using me like before?
Dang, I was hoping you'd help
One
me with
step
a
at a
bunch of
time.
stuff.
Dang, I was hoping I could use you like before.
Until I know that changes society, I'm staying right where I am.
This is a
Let
big
the
question.
taxpayers keep footing the bill for my food and lodging.
You villain.
Wasting taxpayer dollars. Is there anything more villainous? This is terrible for the economy. I just feel so happy. I don't know what else to say. I just feel really warm. It's well earned. And now, in the spirit of what might seem contradictory to what I just said, it's not going to be perfect. In fact, it's going to be awful at times. It's going to need to get hashed out again and again. There will be villainy in the long term. And I mean, even in the short term, right? This doesn't make people good suddenly. And the point of My Hero Academia and the goodness is not to pretend everything's good. If it's pretend, then it's not real and it's not true strength, which also includes like not being overly pessimistic either. You know, there's a truth point that we're aiming for that is its own thing. It doesn't really have a judgment. And just like given whatever it is, we have to try to take it on and do our best in it and try to make things as good as they possibly can be in our sphere of influence, given our unique abilities. Strength is seeing it as it is and deciding to rise to meet the challenge of it. Even if we have a desire to kind of crawl back into that warm, oh, it's all right, everything will be all right type thinking. Weirdly, and this came up in a comment recently, there's an overlap with Attack on Titan of all things, where people will take the fact that there's still terrible things happening to undermine the central premise and the happenings of the shows. But it was a mistake to begin with to think that the problems of humanity or the problems of life are immediately solvable through like one battle or one fight in one moment. But it's still obviously a huge victory. Obviously in this exact moment for good versus evil, but also beyond this moment, because this is something that has now happened. This is in history and problems haven't erased, but we've summoned the strength. We've contributed actual real goodness and service. We've created this new iteration of the world where for a moment we can take a breath and stand up and feel strong and feel inspired and have this renewed sense of what matters. And the young people of the next generation can take all this, having seen it, witnessed it, harness the same power in the same spirit of lineage of One for All and address their problems of their generation. It's an iterative process. And I think it's important to think of it as a process. And I think My Hero and a lot of these really truly hard-hitting great shows are meditations or reflections on what is the good process, you know, what is the best process. To try to create a hypothetical scenario to nail down why this is important to me, let's say, given all we've seen in the show, all we've seen about Deku, the next episode is a political battle where a new group comes to power by undermining Deku because of like, I don't know, collateral damage or something. And the whole premise of the movement is that Deku's bad. And this actually starts to gain traction and people come to power because of it. And next thing you know, things are starting to be undone. People might look at that and say, well, it was all for nothing, right? The whole show was for nothing and Deku's actions were for nothing. But that's the wrong takeaway. And that thinking in itself is the problem that we're trying to address with the themes of the show. It's the never giving up. It's the never sliding into villainy, the never making excuses. It's always rising to the challenge in the best possible vision we have of things, no matter what's going on. Somebody who would not lose faith in humanity and would not think the whole thing was worthless is Deku. He would still be doing the exact same things. Special feature, who was Tomura Shigaraki?
I'm glad he's dead.
Oh no! I mean, it's fair.
At first, we all thought he was just some thug making lots of noise.
I mean, he was just some thug making a lot of
Nobody
noise.
imagined he would pose a giant threat.
Right, yeah.
Restoration work is proceeding rapidly thanks to volunteers and international aid.
And Uraraka's dad, apparently.
Streets filled with mountains of rubble serve as a terrible testament to how widespread the damage is.
Right, let's not underplay it now. It was awful.
But who exactly was Tomura Shigaraki, their leader? Find out now in part 2 of our report.
I'd watch it. The girl who loves smiles. Yeah, we really, really need an Uraraka moment. I'm assuming that's what that is.
We were able to get his body back under control.
Spinner lives. We have a message for you.
What kind of sicko are you? Spare me the details.
Deku won't lose heart about this, though.
Tell him I tried to destroy it all. I fought until the bitter end.
Thanks for the message, Deku.
He told you to tell people that before he died?
He told me to tell you that.
You.
Yeah. You,
Me.
specifically. He thought of you in his final moments.
He gave me a reason to live,
Yep.
a dream,
Yeah.
that maybe one day
Like,
I
it was
could
super
do
chill.
something big, that I
That
could
is
be
quite
somebody
enough.
who
I'll call
mattered.
security.
It's all right.
Tomura Shigaraki
Yeah, it's
was
not
my
afraid,
hero,
not
do
scary.
you understand?
Yes. Yeah, and it's so tragic, especially because we had the benefit of sort of living with them and breathing with them for a while, right? The things that we like about them, the fact that we can like them at all, is a testament to the fact that they're almost there. The things that we're seeing, the things that we like about them are things that probably are really beautiful things. And it could have been so much more. It's like you see the potential in it. It would be way easier and less tragic if, like, you know, whatever, we just wrote them off as monsters or villains or whatever. Because then who cares, right? But what Deku sees in Shigaraki and what I think we see in them is that, yes, like, these are really beautiful things. And they were right about the things they were right about. Spinner had a rough deal. People did treat him really unfairly. There is cruelty in the world. There's probably a very high level of accepted cruelty in society. This is all correct. And Shigaraki gives him the vision of, actually, we can, like, reclaim some of our own lives back. We can do things. We can experience friendship. All hope is not lost. There's something here to life that we can have. We can affect our destinies. We're not beholden to these terrible people. All of this is beautiful. It's great. But then, like, there's nothing larger keeping it contained. So it ends up being the shield that is defending other just really atrocious villainous things. Those things are separate. Speaking of temptation, we want to combine them, right? Like, it's okay what they did because I understand where they're coming from. I sympathize. And so we can kind of let that slide, right? We can let this terrible thing slide. We can separate. I can sympathize with you. I can even love you, which I think is Deku's distinction. But I can't let you do the things you're doing, and I can never condone or turn a blind eye to villainy. It's just complex, and it takes more effort to kind of slice things up that way. In life, because there's just so many things happening all the time, it's not always practical to try to slice things up. But that's where the reality is. So if it matters, if it's important, and if you're engaging with it, it probably is worth that sort of dissection. And that also maybe is how you get to what matters and what your values are. Listening to that voice as it kind of guides you through these various chambers of your own heart, that's probably what develops the instinct and develops that voice to be, you know, more clear and easier to identify and follow. You know, very big picture zoomed out. The reason why Deku wins, the reason why his is so much more powerful is he is all of the good things that we like about the villains, but like through and through all the way in every possible way. So he'll just eat them. He's already there, but more.
If we turn this into some sob story, we risk inspiring copycats. Let's break the cycle.
He understood me, and he
Some things you're gonna
loved a
repeat,
bunch
yeah.
of my favorite games.
Calling him anything but an evil bastard would be dangerous.
Oh, this is too real. This is too real. Wild that I made that offhand comment about politics. I'm really glad, though. I'm glad that it went down this route. The mask is off, you know, and it's okay. It just is what it is. And so now here's where the heroism comes into play. We have to, like, aim for the light still, even though people are going to be human still, and we're going to get the full gamut of human actions and behaviors, always. To oversimplify it, I think the answer to all of these commentators is somewhere in the ballpark of nuance. I guess combined with being clear on what is the goal. Are we trying to get to the truth? Do we want people to live good lives? Are we aiming for something like Deku is aiming at? Are we aiming for a quick win? If we start off with a high enough goal and we really do want the best, you know, we want the truth, really, not lip service to it, not the truth as it suits us for our own personal gain, but really the truth for its own sake or values for their own sake, which is largely an inner battle. It's not something to be hashed out live. You're not going to win that from others. You have to do that yourself, and it takes time and practice. But assuming you have that, then it's probably about dissecting these ideas into their proper place and focus. Tomura was a human being. His actions were condemnable. Those two things can simultaneously exist. It gets really uncomfortable, right? Like, if there's a figure we've identified as evil, TM, even if that's for really good reason, we then are hesitant to grant anything humanizing or anything even remotely positive, no matter how small of a thing it is. Because what that might do, we think, is, oh, well, this person isn't all bad, which makes them good, you know? But that's very basic. I don't think that's that hard to overcome. And I think the less we indulge that sort of thinking, the easier it is to resist that sort of thinking. Like, part of the reason that thinking proliferates, to this guy's point about if we allow this, then we allow everything, is that that's the current model. If we did less of that, that would be the case less. You know, it's a battle that has to be fought. The way I see it in society now, there is a lot of kind of label making, right? The point isn't to hash out the ideas of what we think or what we're aiming for. It's more like this is either a pre-approved category or a pre-condemned category. And if I could just push you into the right category, then I've won. I've either framed you as an enemy or an ally, and we can move on with our lives. But this is just like social posturing. It's not actual really anything useful or productive. The judgment of people is not the point, right? It's like, what are we doing? What is our aim? How do we make things better? Who cares what the category is? Who cares what the classification is? This comes up with Endeavor, actually. Full disclosure, I don't really seek out information on shows while I'm watching them, so I only sort of get like echoes of it from what people tell me, so take this with a grain of salt. But my impression is that there is some, and has always been perhaps, controversy around Endeavor wanting to see him die, not wanting to allow him to have anything good happen, not being okay with Rey standing by his side. And I'm not saying like those are invalid opinions, but I think that at least some of it comes from what I would imagine to be an inability to separate these things into their appropriate places. We can condemn Endeavor's actions. We also, if we want things to be good, if we're really aiming for the best, we can maybe accept that the best thing that could possibly happen was for him to become good and to do great things from here on out, since he can't undo the past, and to try to make amends for the wrong he's done, and for his family to be as united as they can be, given the circumstances and given where they each are, and them doing their best in their own lives. There's not much consideration given to the spectrum of a human's character and flaws and virtues, especially over time, where like anything is possible, really. There's no consideration given to the unwritten future. Everything is just the solidified past. Maybe the thinking is something like, if we allow Endeavor to have redemption, we're condoning abuse, which is just patently not the case. Almost no one who supports the Endeavor comeback is like, yay, abuse, you know? My favorite part of the show was spousal abuse, right? Like, where are those fans? I don't think so. Yes, it's complicated, but doing the complicated things that need to be done to try to find something more meaningful is the essence of heroism, maybe.
He was my best friend.
This is also true, yeah.
Life.
Right.
He told me that he still needed to be the League's hero. And I've witnessed how he held each one of you deep inside of his heart.
He did really love you guys, yeah.
He must have felt the same way you do.
It's heartbreaking.
I got caught up in the frenzy. It got in so deep.
Right, there's a lot of guilt here, too.
There was no turning back.
Yeah.
If I'd had the courage to take one more step.
Yep. He saw it, too, yeah.
I've been able to save my hero.
That was a very, very important turning point.
We must always be looking for the next threat.
Yeah. Again, like, oh man, it just cycles, right? Because he's not wrong. It's very hard to get anywhere with zero virtues. You kind of have to use the virtues as the tip of your spear. There's going to be some truth element to every lie, you know, like even this sort of fear mongering. It's obviously playing on emotions, but there's something there. Like, yeah, you should probably be vigilant. There are going to be villain groups that emerge later. This is probably true. It's worth thinking about. Should you live in a state of fear perpetually, and should you do whatever this guy is undoubtedly promoting? That's a separate question. Similarly, it's the ways you lie, the ways that you're not virtuous that end up being your Achilles heel. Even if you're overall good, villains can defeat you just by dipping their poisonous spear in like one droplet of the truth and then sticking that into your Achilles heel, which is the lie. And now you've been defeated. It's no accident that these two things are happening side by side, right? This political discourse plus Spinner reflecting on like, if I'd only followed my conscience and done the right thing and done a little bit more and not given into the temptation, there is going to be repetition and people are going to give into easy things. And that's all right. It just is how it is. Everybody who sees it just has to do their best. And that includes not also reducing themselves to that level.
You're gonna keep fighting, right?
Always.
All smiles. And you'll try to forget us. Shigaraki and his League of Villains.
I don't think Deku will forget you or any of them.
I'm gonna write a book about Tomura Shigaraki, the symbol of fear.
Set the record straight. Do it.
The past won't disappear. I'll make sure the
Good.
world knows what happened.
It's fine.
I hope it's a comic book.
What?
So I can read it.
We won't forget.
Of course. And also, we never hated you. As painful as that might be to hear.
Tell your octopus pal to keep fighting.
That's interesting.
It might be nice to have some illustrations in the story.
So it is a comic.
Pictures transcend both language and intelligence.
My Villain Academia.
Did you pass along your message?
Did I ever? My God, what an interaction. They could just handle in business. I continue to be impressed by the honesty. You know, like this show, I think it practices what it preaches. It walks the walk. It could have just been a nice happy epilogue and everyone lived happily ever after. You know, that would have been nice. It would have been really pleasant. We all would have sunk into it and nobody would have complained. But there's an integrity, I think, in showing this side of things. I'm guessing that maybe some people will read this as kind of hopeless, you know, but like it's the hopelessness that we've been fighting in a way. And what would Deku do? You know, Deku would never get hopeless. He's just going to keep fighting.
Can you forgive me? I'm sorry.
Don't bother. Eri is the one who deserves an eternity of your apologies.
True.
I intend to remind you of your mistakes until hell swallows you.
It's fitting.
I see. Thanks for doing that.
Deku's like, anyway, that's nice. Deku, like, I don't know. It's weird because he's such a cheerful, good, kind of young-seeming guy, but then he has moments where he's just cold, you know, in the best way. Sometimes it's easy to confuse kindness and weakness, and also goodness for politeness. You know, they're not the same things. Deku can be absolutely savage.
Of course. I'm glad we could keep Eri out of it, for her sake.
When's the festival?
The new students start class today. We can't let them see us looking down in the dumps.
Oh, it's a big day. Also, imagine joining a school after these events.
What is happening?
They're celebrities, yeah. What a time to, like, be a student
And I've
at
admired
UA.
Hiroki since the sports festival.
Damn right.
Coming after them as a mob? That's alarming.
I'd
Yes,
be
sir.
happy
Yes,
to
Ida,
talk
sir.
to you one at a time.
They were running in the hallway.
I'll kill you.
It's imperative that we follow the rules.
Don't forget the rules, everyone.
I thought Bakugo would like having a horde of diehard groupies. Even he can.
He does.
So many screaming fans.
He's also having a great time yelling at
Kind of
them.
new for him too. Girls have actively avoided Kachan for most of his
Oh
life.
no! Speaking of savage, I end Bakugo's whole romantic career with a smile on my face. I cannot imagine, I cannot fathom what this is like. I remember how big of a difference 1 or 2 years made in adolescence. Even in my normal high school, like as a freshman, the sophomores, juniors, and seniors, they were just in a different world. Take that. And also the sophomores are the world's greatest heroes.
Really? Shocking.
Shocking, yeah.
To my stomach.
Oh no.
I know he was super heroic.
We're Bonetta's groupies.
Why are you still here?
We're really sorry, honest.
Okay, now I'm less surprised.
You were surprised?
I saw your fight, and it made me wish I was braver. I wanted
This
to
is
do
it.
something.
Yes,
and
there it is.
help out.
Right.
Oh. Sure. This pain.
This is so weird, but there is a very unique kind of pain for being thanked for your service, for being told that you've done something really good. It hurts. I mean, it's not bad, but pain is correct, even if it's just like a bittersweetness, because you become very potently aware of the stakes and people's lives and that things matter and this is real. I think just unavoidably, we can't ever really fully comprehend the reality of other people's lives in the fullness that it exists, especially at scale to humanity, right? We really are limited to understanding and focus on ourselves, and we can understand other people and the world on kind of a conceptual or logical basis. Like, I have these feelings, well, other people also have those feelings about themselves, but it's not the same thing as that full richness of the experience of it. And there's something about someone telling you you've helped them that for a second you get a flash of like how potent people's lives are. It's a blast of light right into your brain, and that light is blinding. Like, it hurts, like this whole show is a testament to. Ideals are a bright light, and that bright light can scorch. You ask yourself all sorts of questions like, am I even worthy? But like, what about all my flaws? You flash back to your most recent mistake that you made this morning, the thing you're currently feeling guilty about. If they knew about that, would they really be thinking well of me? You can get this flash of like, all this time I should have been doing more. Going forward, I should do more. I could do so much more. I could put so much more in. And then the inevitable thought, well, that would be really painful and difficult. That's scary. But now that I've seen it and felt it, don't I have the responsibility to do it? It's a lot, and Deku is going to experience this from, you know, the world, everyone who's paying attention.
Come on, those battles were epic, and the three of them were center stage the whole time.
Speaking of love,
Why wouldn't the kids love them?
Uraraka feeling a different sort of pain.
I got another interview request for Class 2A.
Delete.
I bet some of them would be interested. Like Mineta.
Bonetta mentioned,
Well, looky here, it's Class A.
and we're doing the hands-on
Put us to work.
building
You got
service.
it.
It's good to see
My
him
sidekick Sonny,
back in
who's
action.
already on the job. Start over here.
Yes! The threads of my heart have been woven back together.
Your seams are still frayed. Perhaps you should have stayed back and gotten some rest.
And missed this? No way.
You're still pocket-sized.
Oh, when do you get back
Don't
to
sweat it.
normal?
I'm recovering gradually.
Okay, that's great to know. It's nice. If this is the last use of their powers, all this time there's a thing of like, they narrate in real time what they're doing with this powers. I'll move this thing with my ice. I'll clear a path with my whatever. But here they're doing that, but like, it's just mundane, you know, they're just helping people out. But it's not mundane at all. It's amazing. There's no ranking, there's no posturing, there's no ego, you gotta love it. Uraraka got something on her mind.
It wouldn't be right to leave everything to other people.
This is one of the themes of the show, yeah.
Let's get this job done today so we can say we earned
Here's
this
the hope.
killer food.
It's here, you know, we are keeping the torch alive.
Workers for that.
This is the fire that's still burning in our hearts. Also, other people don't need to see it for it to burn in your own heart. People can be where they are.
We're sorry we overwhelmed you earlier. We weren't thinking of how you might feel.
This is overwhelming.
These are intense.
Yeah, go away.
You upperclassmen put your lives on the line for us, so we want to make sure that we're useful too.
Okay, get to work.
We're new and we
That's
don't
fine.
have our licenses yet. But
Oh,
please tell us how we
I
can help.
understand that. We've been there. It's a terrible place to be. Sorry to hear about that.
Sounds to me like your diligent work ethic is contagious.
Yep. The One for All lineage, the magical superhero element of it has ended, but still the legacy continues. Now in a much more real, lifelike way. That's what it actually is in reality. And I think the show is right that it can start really small and quiet. What's unfortunate about life is that you can't trace it. So we don't get sort of the material rewards always for it that might reinforce it. It's not always acknowledged. We don't even necessarily acknowledge it in ourselves. It's hard to even get like the positive fulfillment out of just doing what feels like the right thing to do. But it does have an impact. It does ripple. And it is like a spark that you're keeping alive that you didn't create, but you will pass on. And so it's like, what are you doing? You know, what do you want to put into that stream? Deku's story is not the end. It's the freshman's starting line. And they will have their own unique problems to deal with that likely Deku never even thought about. And that's just how it is.
Are you okay?
She's been awfully quiet.
Mustard greens it is! Those and pickled plum are my favorite.
I do like pickled plum. Yeah, it's a nice one. Good choice.
That's just what I needed.
The beating of the heart.
She hasn't been reading her texts.
Something's going on. Maybe just overwhelmed by her feelings.
I screwed up. We were afraid to get airborne.
Oh, man. She really kept that under wraps. I didn't think about that. Yeah, that's a lot. I mean, that's a lot to carry with you. It's okay to reach out.
The city's starting to look like it used to.
Oh, man. Deku's been the main one holding things up, right? But he's human, so even he falls sometimes. And so she's been like the bedrock for him. It would be nice if he could return the favor.
Things are beginning to look up. The world's getting brighter every day. It's a huge relief.
The girl who always smiles.
Everything's been settled.
But?
Isn't that great?
But?
I'll push this terrible pain down.
No.
I'll pretend it's gone.
It's a very noble sentiment, but...
I love seeing people light up with happiness. That's why I set out to be a hero.
I think she's retconning her own motivations there. I seem to recall something about money, which is also fine, but that allowed her to discover this.
What have I done?
That's a huge weight to carry.
Uraraka!
There he is.
Deku? Where are you?
It's okay.
Where I was?
It's okay.
I had a hunch. I leapt here using One for All.
This is the same place they had that conversation. This is perfect. This is amazing. It was one of my favorite moments of the show. That was the moment where they set themselves apart, you know? And they charted a shared future. A lot of the profoundness of that moment is how different it is. How, like, daring it is that they're able to articulate that to themselves first, and then they found each other in it.
You always hide what you're going through and focus on others.
Relatable.
And when we found out what the results were...
Would it be possible to give him some of the
Oh, that's right. She went out on a limb for him.
Every time.
You know what? I like Deku. It could make a great hero name. Plus, I think it sounds kind of cute. Please calm down, Yue!
She's always been there, yeah.
You've saved me so many times. That's why.
Oh, this is so well earned.
My hero.
Oh, no.
And from now on,
no.
I refuse to take your strength for granted.
Oh, my God. That's beautiful.
Hold my hand. Sometimes that helps ease the pain.
And once again, we're also dealing with something very similar.
It's all my fault that Himiko is dead!
On the contrary, I mean, she saved her.
If I'd only figured her out sooner! Or if we'd met when we were little instead of...
Right, should have done more.
Things might have been different.
Yeah. And it's tragic what happened to her.
Who was there to protect them? To ease their minds.
This is so beautiful. It's so amazing. And again, I think it hits something really important. We watch the show, right? And let's say our individual takeaway is I want to be more like this. You know, I want more of this. It's a beautiful thing, right? But then we're human beings and it's not easy, to put it mildly. And so we're going to stumble on that journey. And if we're stumbling on that journey, if we're not strong enough yet to be at the level that we aspire to be, the answer is not to pretend that we're strong enough. The answer is probably to get stronger, which I think largely requires honesty. You know, it requires honesty of like current weakness. And it's not even a judgment necessarily. It's not bad. It's not a corruptive force on your soul. It's nothing to be guilty about. Your ability is just what your ability is. You are where you are and you have an aim, and probably the best way to get to your intended aim is to recognize where you are in a loving way, right? Like not in a hateful way or I'm so terrible now and forever. I always mess things up, etc., etc. But like, no, like this is a difficult challenge and I have to get through this challenge first. It's funny. I've heard all might being used as a verb in this sense. Like don't all might it, meaning don't shoulder all of the burden out of some attempt at heroism all the while it's destroying you. Let's say you're doing that in service to other people. Well, if those people actually love you, they'd be more upset by the fact that you're destroying yourself than they require the efforts you're making to serve them. You're undoing yourself. It's counterproductive. And it's hard to find that line because on the other side of the spectrum, there's also selfishness, and that's not ideal either. It's not all about you and your comfort, let's say, or your happiness, but it takes some effort. It takes some searching. And it's not a failure to have moments or even long periods of weakness or stumbling. It's not a failure to be where you are while you work towards where you want to be. It's not a failure to have moments where you feel broken or lost or purposeless. There will be a wild range of things, but what's important is like your vision, your aim, your trajectory, your process, what you want to be, what you believe, what your conscience is telling you, and like how much you're working in service to those things. Deku is going to have moments of extreme despair and feeling lost and, you know, feeling confused like he has in the show because he's a human being. That's fine. It's okay for Uraraka to be really, really sad about Toga. It's okay for Deku to be really, really sad about Tomura. And it's okay to lean on people who want to be there for you.
I've been thinking the same thing.
Of course, yeah.
He told me the path I'd chosen to go down was a thorny one.
He was right.
But still, even if we're meddling, if we reach out,
there's meddling.
We can help. I know it.
It's important also, I think, to recognize that a lot of the things that we regret here are circumstantial, and they were the mistakes other people made. You can't, like, will perfection onto the world, no matter how good you are. It's really interesting that they end up coping with this. You know, they made this great, beautiful decision together on this same mountaintop, and now they deal with the fallout, which is sort of unglamorous, right? Like, yeah, it sucks. Again, like that bright light, they opened themselves up to something wider, and so it's gonna be harder. That's just how that works. It also is great and inspiring and beautiful, and they are amazing, and thankfully they have each other.
Oh, Chaco, you dummy!
Yeah, like, we're all there for you.
You can talk to me whenever you're upset.
Really listening? There's no one here who hasn't suffered, you know? And we all witnessed the same tragedy. Still got that spark. Keep it alive. It's also a spark that we share.
I ran off in such a hurry. That ember's still burning?
Yeah.
I jumped here.
What's the story?
Spill the dang beans! With it!
Sure. I'll tell
There's a
you
lot we
everything.
can share, yeah. A lot we can open up about. Oh, a proud teacher. He really loves them. The city does look nice. All right.
The spotlight now!
You got everything you ever wanted and so much more. All right, I'll treat this as the school festival as long as Aries here.
That epic force, forged by courage and heroism.
Yeah, we did it. Oh, is this the last we're gonna see them as kids?
If we could all help each other, then...
Then what? Finish your sentence. I guess we're leaving that up to the last episode. Man, this is so crazy. I can't even handle this. I can't handle. There's only one more episode left. What is happening? What are you doing?
Why was it just me?
What? To be introducing characters at this late hour is interesting. I think this show seems simple. It seems like the themes are easy, and I think we're all going to interpret things slightly differently depending on our lens. And it could be very simple. It would be sufficient, I think, to say, like, this is a show about good versus evil, and good wins in the end, and always be a good person, in sort of the way we've probably all gotten it since we were young. And that's fine. That also is right, I think. But then also, if you want to look for the complexity in the show, it will take you about as far as you could ever hope to go. And one of the things that's difficult is, like, in evaluating the show, in writing the show, I imagine. How do you get to something real and good without undermining its own premise and making the same mistakes we just got out of with All Might? You know, like, oh, well, this will happen, and then bing, bang, boom, boom, punch, punch, the good guy won, yay, everything is great now. That's what goodness is. And everyone lived happily ever after, and I feel very entertained. I think the argument my hero would make is that is only going to be as good or as great as it is true. And the extent to which it's not true, no matter how beautiful it is as a whole, no matter how much actual real strength there is, that will be its weakness. You know that feeling when, like, you stare at a point and your eyes kind of lock and you can kind of glaze at it? You can't do that for the search of the values that Deku and friends are searching for. Your eyes have to be constantly active. They're like on. It's not that the thing we're looking for is subjective or changes or is moving. It's just that it's so big, it requires the maximum amount of attention and energy and focus on it at all times. And that is difficult. That's nearly impossible. That's why it requires strength. And having that goal and doing what needs to be done towards that goal is the essence of heroism. So if we want to iterate in the way the show is iterated, in the show this generation iterates on the problems of the previous generation, we have to always work towards it. It's not a point we arrive at. It's a process that comes from an ideal. And to the feelings of this episode, that ideal hurts. It sucks. It is great and it is profound and it is important. But you feel it. It's heavy. People will seek to undermine Deku. People will seek to undermine Uraraka. People will hate Uraraka. There will be people who will never understand the humanity of Tomura or Spinner. People will continue to hate people who don't look like them. That will be frustrating. The ideal hasn't changed. It's not dependent on the words or opinions of others. It's much more fundamental than that. And it can't be forced or lied about either. It has to be built in the real way, genuinely. It can't be skipped. It can't be obtained through shifting categories. It's just going to be like that grueling, tough road of growing your conscience and practicing following your conscience. And that will have to be its own reward. And there's a lot of things it isn't, you know, like Deku won't always be happy. It's not smiling for smiling. It's smiling because you genuinely have the strength to be happy. And if you don't, you have to dig a little bit and find that strength so that when you do smile, it is genuine. It's not about wearing the smile as a mask. It's about actually smiling, being the person who has found a way to smile. This generation is done with the illusions. It's not despair at all the ways things are not going perfectly or that people haven't learned. It's not cynicism at the world. It's not hatred of people who, like, aren't falling in line with what we've seen. It's not okay to be a villain or do villainous things, but it is okay to be in pain. It is okay to feel weak or to be weak. It is okay to be vulnerable and to lean on people. It's okay to feel lost. It's okay things are imperfect. So many of the inspiring character moments in the show are like, yeah, granted that all this is going horribly wrong, I'm still going to, etc., etc. I'm still here. I'm still going to fight. If I allow this to make me cynical, can I even call call myself a hero? If I allow this to make me hateful, can I even call myself a hero? If I allow this feeling, this moment of my worst self to define the entirety of my existence, can I even call myself a hero? I love this because I think it's not confusing reality for cynicism, which is often the case. It's both realistic and hopeful because life is a spectrum of all of it. And because they are who they are and they have this process, they will find it. They will overcome this together like they've overcome every challenge together. They will all be better off for it. And everyone in their vicinity will be better off for it. And the next generation, even if they're in a minority, will take the beauty they've seen. They will use that as inspiration like Deku did with All Might, and they will build the next rung on this ladder of their legacy.